You have something in you, a spark, a flame. And I'm here to tell you, it's not too late to light it. Don't let your fears smother it. Don't let the world dim it. You were built for something greater, but you have to want it bad. You have to fight for it. You have to believe, even when no one else does. Light a fire in you and let the world feel your heat. Your passion is the spark. Protect it, feed it, fight for it. That fire deep inside you, that small burning desire, is where it all begins. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away unless you let them. It's yours. But here's the truth: the world will try to put it out. It'll throw water on your dreams. It'll whisper in your ear, "You're not enough. You'll never make it." And sometimes it won't even whisper. It'll scream. But what you do with that voice, how you respond to it, that's what defines who you are. Denzel Washington says, "Dreams without goals are just dreams." And it's true. That fire in you, that passion, it's not just a feeling, it's fuel. But it needs direction. If you're not feeding it, it's dying. If you're not protecting it, someone else will snuff it out. You have to build routines around it, put habits in place, and guard it like it's sacred, because it is. You don't light a fire once and expect it to burn forever. You feed it every single day. You show up even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, even when it feels like the world has turned its back on you. You see, passion isn't about hype. It's not about the loud moments. It's about consistency. It's about waking up and choosing to chase something bigger than yourself. It's not about applause. It's about purpose. It's about knowing why you started and refusing to let anything or anyone pull you off course. People may not understand it. They might mock it. They might laugh. But you weren't given your fire for their approval. You were given it for your mission. Think about it. Every single person who's ever done something great started with nothing but a spark, a dream, a belief. They weren't guaranteed success. They weren't promised a stage, but they had something in them that told them to keep going. And that same something, that same fire, lives in you too. You just have to be brave enough to listen to it, brave enough to trust it when everything around you says quit. Because when you don't feed your passion, someone else's agenda will feed you. You'll end up living a life that doesn't belong to you. And that's a slow death. Waking up every day knowing you were meant for more. But when you commit to that fire, when you feed it with discipline, learning, growth, and action, it begins to grow. It burns hotter. It spreads. And it doesn't just change you. It changes everything around you. It becomes contagious. People feel it when you walk in a room. That's not ego. That's fire. That's purpose. That's the light God put in you, refusing to be ignored. And don't confuse comfort with success. Some people will try to dim your light because they're afraid of their own darkness. They'll try to get you to settle, to shrink, to fit in. But your fire isn't meant to fit in. It's meant to stand out. It's meant to blaze trails. It's meant to wake people up. And most importantly, it's meant to wake you up. You weren't created to live a quiet, unremarkable life. You were created to rise, to inspire, to push boundaries. Denzel once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." And that's the truth. Passion doesn't thrive in ease. Fire doesn't grow in comfort. You have to fight for it. You have to protect it when doubt comes. You have to feed it when failure knocks. You have to fuel it even when no one claps for you. Because this isn't about noise. It's about fire, and fire speaks for itself. So today, make a decision, protect your spark. Feed it with relentless belief, with action, with faith. Don't let anyone talk you out of it. Not fear, not failure, not even yourself. This is your fire. This is your life. And it's time to burn brighter than ever before. Failure is inevitable. It's not a possibility. It's a certainty. If you're living, breathing, and trying to do something meaningful with your life, you're going to fail. But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Failure, it's not the end. It's not a dead end. It's fuel. It's firewood. And if you learn to use it right, failure becomes the very thing that lights your path forward. You see, we live in a culture where people want quick wins. They want to get there without falling down. They want the trophy without the pain. But success isn't built on victories alone. It's built on bruises, rejections, doubts, closed doors, and long nights where you question everything. That's what shapes character. That's what forges champions. That's where greatness is born, not in the applause, but in the silence after a loss, when no one is watching and you decide to get back up anyway. Denzel Washington once said, "Every failed experiment is one step closer to success." Think about that. Every time you try and don't succeed, you've gained experience. You've learned something you didn't know before. You've discovered another angle, another approach, another piece of the puzzle. But the problem is most people stop right there. They fall and they stay down. They fail and they take it personally. They think failure means they aren't good enough. But the truth is, failure means you're in the game. It means you're out there swinging, taking risks, doing what others are too afraid to do. If you're scared of failing, you'll never truly grow. Growth demands discomfort. It demands falling flat on your face sometimes. And it demands the courage to get back up, even when your pride is hurt, even when people laugh, even when you feel like quitting. You have to fall forward. Don't fall back into excuses, into self-pity, into bitterness. Don't fall back into the comfort zone. Fall forward into progress, into wisdom, into clarity. You need to shift your mindset. Failure is not your enemy. It's your coach. It teaches you where you're weak so you can get strong. It shows you what you didn't know so you can go back and study harder, train harder, work smarter. Every time you fall, you gain something. And that's how fire is built. That's how your internal drive, your hunger, your discipline grows stronger. You either let failure define you or you let it refine you. The difference between the great and the average isn't talent. It's not luck. It's how they respond to failure. The great ones get back up. They use it. They replay the mistake. They analyze it. And they come back better. They don't let a bad moment turn into a bad mindset. They keep moving. They fall forward. And let's be real. There will be times you fail and it hurts. It cuts deep. Maybe you invested everything into something and it didn't work out. Maybe you gave your heart to something and got nothing in return. That pain is real. No one's asking you to ignore it, but don't let it paralyze you. Process it. Feel it. Then rise from it. Let it teach you what it came to teach you. Then let it push you forward. Some of the most powerful people in history failed more than they succeeded. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. These weren't easy failures. They were humiliating. But they didn't stop. They didn't retreat. They used it. They fell forward. So the next time you fail, and you will remember this, you're not broken. You're becoming. You're not behind. You're not losing. You're learning. And every fall is just more fuel, more reason to rise, more reason to fight. This fire in you doesn't die with a setback. In fact, that's when it burns brightest, when you're knocked down and still decide to get up, fall forward, always forward. Discipline is the oxygen of your fire. Without it, your passion burns out before ever becomes anything real. You can have all the talent in the world, all the inspiration, all the ambition, but if you don't have discipline, if you can't show up day after day, especially when it's hard, then the fire dies. That's the truth no one wants to tell you. Everyone loves to talk about dreams, about passion, about doing what you love. But passion without discipline is just noise. It makes you feel good for a moment, but it won't take you anywhere. It's discipline that keeps you moving when motivation is gone. It's discipline that wakes you up at 5 a.m. when comfort says stay in bed. It's discipline that keeps you writing, training, working, building, creating, even when you're tired, even when you're discouraged, even when you're alone. Discipline means you don't negotiate with your excuses. It means you don't let your emotions run the show. You do what needs to be done. Not what feels good, not what's easy, but what's required. That's how fires grow. That's how legacies are built. You want to build something that lasts, then you better get used to being uncomfortable. You better fall in love with repetition, the grind, the silence. You see, everyone sees the moment when the fire blazes, when the success comes, when the lights are on, but they don't see the 1,000 invisible days it took to get there, the nights you kept pushing when no one was clapping, the sacrifices, the missed parties, the early mornings, the pain. That's discipline. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who only talk about it. The truth is, talent is overrated. The world is full of talented people who never made it because they never developed discipline. And it's also full of ordinary people who became extraordinary every single day. They trained like it was life or death. They built themselves in the dark. They became undeniable. That's what you need. Not more motivation, not more likes, not more applause. You need self-control. You need structure. You need to commit to doing the work, even when the work isn't sexy. Even when no one's watching, even when you feel like quitting. That's how you keep the fire lit. That's how you make it burn brighter. You've got to build habits that serve you. Discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means saying no to distractions, no to comfort, no to anything that doesn't align with your mission. You've got to ask yourself every day, is what I'm doing feeding the fire or killing it? Because every choice matters. Every moment counts. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And discipline is your system. It's your structure. It's your safety net for the days when your fire feels weak, when your soul is tired, when your mind is full of doubt. Discipline steps in and says, I got you. Let's go. If you want to be great, you can't wait to feel like it. You can't let your circumstances determine your consistency. You have to move forward regardless. That's what discipline gives you. It gives you power over your feelings. It makes you dangerous. Because when the world gets soft, when other people quit, you keep going, you keep building, you keep rising. That's how legends are made, through pain, through consistency, through quiet sacrifice. So the next time you feel like giving up, remember this: your fire isn't gone. It's just hungry. It's asking for more fuel. And discipline, not motivation, not hype, not comfort, is that fuel. It is what will take your fire from a spark to a blaze. So show up, do the work, be relentless, light your fire with discipline, and let it burn through every limitation in your path. Faith is the flame that won't go out. That's something I've lived, something I've seen time and time again, not just in my life, but in the lives of those who never gave up, even when the odds were stacked against them. You see, when the world goes silent, when the lights are off, and the applause has faded, faith, what whispers to you in the dark, keep going. It's not about religion. It's deeper than that. It's about trusting something bigger than you, something inside of you that knows you're not finished yet, that your story isn't over. There are going to be times in your life when everything around you tells you to quit, when your bank account is empty, when your friends stop answering the phone, when the door gets slammed in your face over and over again. That's when most people give up. That's when most people walk away. But that's also when the fire of faith has to burn the brightest. That's when you light the match inside of you and say, I'm not done yet. I didn't come this far to fold. A faith doesn't mean the road will be easy. In fact, it's usually the opposite. It means choosing to keep walking even when you don't see the path. It means working your craft, your purpose, even when there's no spotlight. Faith is when you get up at 5 a.m. and grind, not because someone is watching, but because you believe it matters. Because you know deep down that every step, every repetition, every no, every loss is leading somewhere. That's what keeps you warm when the world is cold. I've failed. I've been rejected. I've been laughed at. But I kept showing up. I kept preparing. That's faith. It's not about being perfect. It's not about always being strong. It's about holding on when everything in you says let go. It's about planting your feet in the ground and saying, not today. I still believe. I still have purpose. I still have something left to give. And let me tell you something, people will doubt you. They'll look at your circumstances, your background, your mistakes, and they'll count you out. That's fine. Let them. Because they don't know what God has placed in you. They don't see the fire that's burning in your soul. But you do. And if you keep that faith, that fire can move mountains. That fire can make a way. There was no way. That fire can carry you through storms you never thought you could survive. Faith is what brings clarity in confusion. It's what gives you vision when the future looks blurry. It reminds you that your worth is not based on your circumstances, that you're being shaped in the silence. You're being built in the dark. And one day, when that moment comes, when the curtain rises and the opportunity finally shows up, your faith will have already prepared you for it. You'll be ready not because everything was easy, but because you trusted the process when it was hard. And that's why you can't let your flame go out. That's why no matter what happens, You've got to hold on to that belief, feed it with action, protect it with discipline, strengthen it with prayer, and remind yourself every single day why you started. Because faith doesn't just carry you forward. It transforms you along the way. It takes a scared, unsure, broken version of you and turns it into someone unshakable. So if you're in that place right now, if life has you doubting, questioning, struggling to breathe, I want you to hear me. Don't quit. Don't stop. Keep walking. Keep believing. The fire inside you is not finished burning. Your faith still has work to do. And I promise, if you stay true to it, it will lead you exactly where you're meant to go. When you light a fire in yourself, it isn't just for your success, your recognition, or your goals. That flame, your drive, your passion, your grit is meant to ignite something in the people around you. It becomes bigger than you. When Denzel Washington speaks, he doesn't just motivate for the sake of cheering someone on. He speaks truth, legacy, and purpose. That's what the fire inside you is truly for. It's not just about what you achieve, but about who you inspire along the way. Think about it. Every step you take forward, every obstacle you conquer, every day you decide not to give up, you're creating a path for someone else. You're showing someone that it can be done, that their excuses are just temporary, that their struggles don't define them. When you light a fire in yourself and keep it burning, you become a living, breathing example of resilience. You become proof. There's someone watching you right now who hasn't found their way yet. They don't believe they're strong enough, smart enough, or chosen enough. But when they see you keep going, despite the odds, despite the pain, they see something they can hold on to. They see hope. That's your fire doing what it was meant to do. Because purpose doesn't stop with self. It extends. It multiplies. And true greatness is never selfish. It's contagious. The energy you bring into a room, the way you speak with conviction, the way you carry yourself even when you're tired, people notice that. And not just notice, they feel it. They start to believe that maybe they can rise too. Maybe they can get back up after falling. Maybe they can become more than they ever imagined. Denzel often says, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. That message, raw and real, is meant to challenge you, because fire is never born in comfort. It's born when everything says quit, and you say no. It's born when the world tells you to sit down, and you choose to stand up. And when others see that kind of courage, that kind of perseverance, they begin to search for that spark within themselves. You may not realize it, but your story, your journey, your quiet battles, they matter. You're carrying a light that could guide someone out of their darkness. That could be your child, your friend, a stranger online, someone who just needed to see one person fight through the fire and come out stronger. When you show up, even in brokenness, even in doubt, you give them permission to try. That's the responsibility of the fire inside you. Don't be afraid to let it burn. Don't be afraid to let people see it. We often dim ourselves to fit in. We downplay our drive so others feel comfortable. But your light isn't supposed to shrink. It's supposed to expand, to shine into spaces where there was only fear, hesitation, or mediocrity. If you keep your fire hidden, the world loses something powerful. And the people meant to learn from your journey, they lose too. So yes, this journey is personal. It's yours. But it's also communal. You're part of a bigger story. a longer legacy. The fire you light might be the reason a young person picks themselves up tomorrow. It might be the reason someone doesn't give up on their dream. It might be the beginning of someone else's breakthrough. You don't have to be perfect to inspire. You just have to be real, be honest, be relentless. When they see you wake up early, grind hard, pray deeply, love passionately, and lead with purpose, they start to think, if they can do it, so can I. That's the ripple effect of a lit fire. It spreads, and the more it spreads, the more lives change. Never underestimate the power of presence, of consistency, of fire. When it's burning in you, it doesn't just warm you, it lights the way. It reveals possibilities. It revives dead dreams. You become the match in someone else's cold season. And that's what it means to live on purpose. So keep the fire alive, not just for your dreams, but for those still looking for their own spark. You never know who you're setting free is by refusing to let your flame go out.